Hi, I'm Don King. Welcome to the Week In Rock. We're going to really rock 'em and sock 'em here on MTV.
This week, Jane's Addiction fronts a Lollapalooza of a tour. Celebrity Feuds enjoy a new boom. Fresh Prince unveils his b-ball moves for charity. Operation Rock and Roll lays siege to San Francisco. And sex and drugs and rock and roll live on in Amsterdam. Hi, I'm Kurt Loder. Welcome to the Week in Rock. It was Jane's Addiction frontman Perry Farrell who dreamed up the Lollapalooza tour, a package of acts whose only common characteristics are intensity and attitude. Jane's Addiction, Living Colour, Ice-T, Susie and the Banshees, 9 Inch Nails, and the Butthole Surfers are the stars of this traveling road show, along with an assemblage of artworks and political proselytizers. And when our man Dave Kendall caught the opening date in Arizona last week, it went like this.
It's 109 degrees, but Arizonans have shown up in force for the opening date of Lollapalooza. Not only one of America's greatest ever and most diverse lineups of alternative rock, but also a touring carnival of music, information, and art. Here's more.
There's pressure in my position because I kind of feel like I started this thing, so if it sucks, really it's on my shoulders. But a festival vibe for bands is you can't beat it.
That's important that the art be experienced in a new, different setting, involved with music, which I think very much Perry Farrell really wanted and expressed his concern about having the art, the booths, and the music come together.
We just think it's great that there's such a diverse collection of bands.
I like playing when it's dark out, but now I can play and get a tan and get home in time for dinner. It's got to be 122 because it's so hot.
It's too hot to be stylish in this weather.
I was totally blown away. I saw the crowd, they rocked. Paul, what do you think?
Ditto. It's like I'm going from the rap into the rock.
Now I'm gonna write this song so the radio won't play it. There goes the neighborhood.
Rock is even more intense than the rap. So it's like going uphill, you know, but it's like between the verses and the rock, I want to rest, but I can't rest because that, you know, so it's a trip.
We have the showers over there, the water, so we soaked ourselves when we got here.
I came to see 9 Inch Nails, and, well, he played 2 songs, got upset, knocked his stuff over, and split.
Well, we were officially the first casualty of the Lollapalooza tour here in Phoenix, Arizona.
I guess what happened, 9 Inch was jamming and tripping it.
Newsflash, excuse me. The reason was actually a bad power supply.
I kind of like the eerie sound of Susie and the Banshees.
Well, that was my plan to get all the opening acts like completely heat prostration, and then we come in and clean up.
I know this is going to be a tour people are going to talk about for a long time.
If the opening date is anything to go by, Lollapalooza could be the tour of the summer.
The Lollapalooza tour will be arriving in Seattle on Monday night and Minneapolis next Thursday. Obviously, you should try to catch it. Another act out on the road right now, Guns N' Roses has been sued by its original drummer, Steven Adler, who, according to initial reports, was charging that the band's members encouraged him to take heroin and then fired him as he was trying to kick the habit. Now, however, Adler's lawyers are contending that what Adler really wants is money that he says he was defrauded and deprived of, and the restitution of his good name and reputation. His lawyers also say, quote, Steven wants to tell kids that drugs really do hurt you and that everyone should stay away from drugs. Maybe the most amusing music story of the year to date is the number of stars who are at each other's throats. Vince Neil wants to fight Axl Rose, NWA wants to drop a bomb on ex-member Ice Cube, Third Base hates Vanilla Ice, and MC Hammer, as you may recall, wanted Sinead O'Connor to leave the country. In case you haven't been keeping track of all this festering hype and vanity, we've got a quick roundup for you right now of the year's most heated celebrity feuds.
What I want is, Axl, if you're watching this, I want to challenge you to a fight. I'm going to give you the time, and I'm going to give you the place, and there's no backing out now, buddy, and it's time to put up or shut up.
With that, Motley Crue's Vince Neil officially threw down the gauntlet, and while the only response has been a Guns N' Roses statement calling Neil's challenge inane, the rest of the rock world, and even the sporting world, is excited by the idea.
I'd like to see the fight, though. Can I get front row tickets? I'll ref. I don't know, something. I'll be in the corner. I don't know. I want to be there. I like fight. That's my favorite sport. Really? I love it.
Young people. Wow. Guys. What is Don King doing?
Vince Neil says, I've already killed Izzy en route to Axl. He said, and I'm ready for you, Axl, so let's don't get started with no jive. I want to see you in five rounds, 2 minutes apiece. We're going to take care of business. Axl Rose says he's not going to be taking that lightly. He did KO Izzy, but he sucker punched him without him knowing what was happening. He said, but you won't steal me because my eyes are going to be open.
Whether or not the Neil Rose bout ever does happen, it's only the latest in a long line of music world spats. Remember Sinead O'Connor and MC Hammer dissing each other over the past year or so? She called him a lightweight sellout. He offered to pay her way back to the UK, and she took him up on the offer.
I paid not only her bill, but she brought a couple friends with her. I paid those bills too. But I think she's going to trick me because she'll probably be coming back to America.
The feud between hardcore Los Angeles rappers NWA and their one-time member Ice Cube began when Ice Cube left the group in 1989, claiming NWA owed him money. These guys rap about Uzis and talk some serious trash. This war of words has been particularly vicious.
It's time for us to put their head on the chopping blocks, take a swing with the axe.
Well, all I got to say for the brother is, it ain't over. The party's not over.
Rap duo Third Base are old hands at picking on other more successful rappers. A few years back, their Gas Face video took on both MC Hammer and ex-Public Enemy member Professor Griff. Now they've taken on Vanilla Ice in Pop Goes the Weasel.
I mean, to make Vanilla Quest #1 on the pop chart is a joke.
Why is everybody picking on me?
So, what's our experts think?
I'd have to give the edge to the speed of Vanilla Ice. Even though it's a tag team effect, Pete and Search, I think, have not pushed themselves away from the dinner table too frequently. And even with the cane, I just don't have the feel that they would be able to take care of Vanilla, who is slippery, particularly in the corners. Don't get Vanilla in the corner.
Rappers LL Cool J and Kool Moe Dee have been dissing each other for years. Kool Moe Dee has gotten in some good digs at LL on albums such as How You Like Me Now and his new one, Funky Funky Wisdom, including the song Death Blow.
So for all those hip-hop fans out there that really know what time it is, anybody that wants to see us get this thing going on, head-to-head, Kool Moe Dee versus LL, remember, I never said the brother couldn't make a good record, but when it comes to a battle, we got to go head-to-head on the lyric tip. And when it comes to lyrics, you can't hang.
And for a long time, LL gave as good as he got. But with Mama Said Knock You Out, LL seems to have thrown his last blow.
It's about unity, not dividing the community. It's not about degrading another human being or disrespecting them. It's about educating them and bringing them out of the darkness into the light. That's what the little kids need to see. That's what the youth needs to hear. Because you would never hear me disrespect or degrade another human being on my record ever again.
Well, on that brotherly note, we're going to take a quick break right now, but we'll be back with the hit-making Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, the classical Eric Clapton, soon to tour with an old Beatle buddy, and a visit to the good time capital of Amsterdam, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Week in Rock. The city of Boston has become the latest place to pass a law regulating the use of boomboxes and boomcars, vehicles fitted out with monster stereo systems. Under the new Boston law, which is similar to statutes in other cities in Alabama, Illinois, Washington, and California, anyone caught blasting music that is judged to be discernible from a distance of 100 feet can be fined from $50 to $250 and could have his or her automobile confiscated. Boombox laws are the subject of a song on an upcoming album by Public Enemy, whose leader Chuck D recently had this to say on the subject.
Get the fuck out Dodgers about this new law they passed on sound systems in in the neighborhoods. Like you know, like the brothers be like getting like the booming systems. You know, it's like a sequel to the booming system like LL wrote last year. Yeah. And this is like, all right, once you have your booming system, they passed the law recently that said if you play your sound system, you could get stopped and get a ticket for it. I just got a ticket last week in Garden City, Long Island.
One group that's enjoying a lot of boombox play right now is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, who have a top 10 hit with Summertime, a track off their new album Home Base. We caught up with this rap duo when they returned to their own home base of Philadelphia recently to play a charity basketball game. Take a look.
Drums, please!
Summertime, just like the video. That's, you know, the little boys mess around with the girls playing double dutch. While the DJ spinning a tune, there's the old folks dance at your family reunion. Just, you know, all of that. That record was just stream of consciousness, Summertime Philadelphia.
Jeff Towns and Will Smith, known as DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, aren't just sitting back this summer. They're crisscrossing the country, meeting the press to promote their new album, Home Base. But they did take time to return to their home base of Philadelphia to help organize a game of hoops for charity.
It was the United Negro College Fund and Children First in Philadelphia. And at the same time I'm playing basketball, I'm able to help someone out. So it's like it's the best of both worlds.
The Philadelphia Civic Center was full of fans who came out to see a New York team featuring Michael Bivins and New Jack City star Alan Paynes hit the courts against the Philly home team, including different strokes star Todd Bridges, members of Boys to Men, and of course their very confident team leader, Will Smith.
Yes, I'm absolutely incredible. I'm hands down the best player on the court.
Will Smith must have been drinking before he came to the game. But you know, Will got a little ego. This is Will's hometown. Will's my man. Will's real cool. But I don't know about that best in the game kind of thing.
My strategy is to get out there, play some serious defense because my offensive game is dead normally.
So like put them in, let them play defense, and then pull them out when it's time to come down, you know? Right.
I don't like playing with these guys. You know, they don't have no game, so I feel a little embarrassing, you know, playing with these guys. Now this is fun. It's different.
For these particular charities, I prefer to do things in Philadelphia. I like in Philadelphia. You know, this is where I'm from. Yeah, home base. You know, you got to, and if there's problems that need to be repaired at home, is where you should start first, I think.
Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Metal fans have a tour all their own out on the road right now. It's a package outing that unites Judas Priest, Alice Cooper, Motorhead, Metal Church, and Dangerous Toys all on one bill. And it looks and sounds like this.
The recession is a good thing when it comes to this. You know, a lot of people are skirting the idea that it's a recession out there. It's the best thing in the world for the audience because they get to see two headliners instead of one. It breaks the mold. I think the good thing about it is that it breaks the mold.
It's good for a band like us. We get a lot of exposure playing in a bigger place with Judas Priest and Alice Cooper.
I would have gone to it if I was a kid like that. Sure.
Yeah, it's really good for us to be on the bill too. We're really enjoying ourselves.
The Operation Rock and Roll Tour is certainly one time when you don't want to forget your earplugs. They proudly play at an ear-bashing 98 decibels. Even though there are 5 bands on the bill and 5 sets for them to play on, no one's cutting any corners on their stage show.
We've always tried to keep our ticket prices down and give as big a production as we can actually afford to give them.
Although guitar hero Joe Satriani had a blast jamming with Cooper at a show in Mountain View, California. Most folks who dare to join Cooper on stage won't be having nearly as much fun.
This year, no guillotine this year, no hanging, because we've done that so much. And so the Feed My Frankenstein, we take this poor photographer girl that just got a little too close to Alice, and we turn her into something from a nice sweet girl into cold Ethel.
Knowing Cooper, we can all just imagine what that means. Despite potential ego problems between bands on any package tour, the Operation Rock and Roll band say they're well beyond that.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper have been around so long, and Motorhead, that they checked their egos about 10 years ago. You know, these guys are old pros, and they're not in here arguing and quibbling with each other. You know, this is just kind of like everybody has a mutual respect.
San Francisco, thank you. Good night.
Rock acts recording with symphony orchestras is nothing new. Deep Purple did it back in 1970. Now guitarist Eric Clapton has gone into the studio to record an album with the London Symphony Orchestra called Classical Concerto for Guitar. The music was composed by Michael Kamen, who had collaborated with Clapton on scoring the 2 Lethal Weapon soundtracks, and who hooked up with him once again to premiere this concerto last March at London's Royal Albert Hall. Clapton's concerto album should be out by December, by which time he'll be in Japan backing his old friend George Harrison on his first tour since 1974. Harrison says he plans to play Beatles songs, solo tunes, and some selections from the Traveling Wilburys repertoire. And if all goes well in Japan, he and Clapton may extend their tour into Europe and North America next year. Time now for another quick break, but we'll be back with a visit to one of Europe's hottest fun spots, Amsterdam, and a few words from Tad Lowe on strange news stories you may have missed. So do stay tuned. Welcome back to the Week in Rock. One of the best-loved cities on any European vacation itinerary is the Netherlands capital of Amsterdam. Sex and drugs and rock and roll have always been viewed with a tolerant eye in this town, and now with rap and house music stirred into the mix, the good times appear to be better than ever. But see for yourself.
Amsterdam. You may imagine it as the land of tulips, clogs, and canals. But there's much more to it than the images featured on postcards.
When it comes to sex, drugs, and rock and roll, we got a wild place, yeah.
A lot of trendy people come here and, you know, just have a good time.
The European people are very cold, and when you see them in the disco, in the nightclub, they are kind of open, like flowers.
Hashish is legal in Amsterdam, and the use of it and other drugs like ecstasy is common in clubs, but opinions among city residents vary.
There's a lot of drugs, but you can have fun without.
It makes your brains, it's not good. I smoked for 30 years.
If you just leave it with hashish, it's no problem.
I get high. I don't take any drugs at all, but you know, you can go in a trance in a very natural way.
Likewise, tastes in music were diverse.
Prince. Yeah.
Dream Warriors, a kind of hip-hop, stuff like that.
Rolling Stones.
House, acid, most of the things, yeah.
I like house.
Amsterdam is also famous for its legal prostitution, with women selling their bodily wares in store windows like the latest fashion.
I don't think it will really affect the average person. Maybe it does affect it, but in a way that there is less frustration about sex.
People here probably have a freer attitude towards sex, especially the younger people like me.
To match the wild lifestyle, there's some interesting fashions to be found in Amsterdam.
The real style now, I think it's 60s, but with a psychedelic style more. Like the girl from Delight. It's all mixed. I don't think it's a big difference, a big deal. What you're wearing. You can wear everything.
what's all this fun and style mean?
My philosophy of life? Well, I would say at the moment I'm enjoying. I try to be as liberal as possible towards other people, but in general I try to enjoy life.
In media news, information overload continues to be a problem in this country, so it's no surprise that some very interesting stories often slip by us in the general glut of news dispatches. Our man Tad Lowe has devoted himself to correcting the situation, and here he is right now with some more stories you may have missed.
So maybe it was the solar eclipse, or maybe it was the hot weather and the fact that people are wearing less and less clothing, but either way you were probably distracted by something during the last few weeks, and if you were, then you might have missed a few news stories, including this one about a woman up in Albany for whom watching entertainment tonight is a rather traumatic affair. That's because, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, the sound of Mary Hart's voice sends her into epileptic seizures.
I'm Mary Hart.
According to the journal, systematic testing revealed that the seizures were precipitated only by the voice of the female co-host and not by visual stimulation, emotional anticipation, or background music. So we wondered, is this just an isolated incident, or could Mary Hart's voice affect others in a similar way? Well, we have the box, we have her voice. Let's go find out. Aha, excuse me. I have some Mary Hart here for you. Any effect on you? No! Oh my God, no! I was wondering if the voice of this woman affects you in any way. Are you feeling ill at all? Do you feel dizzy?
I'm not feeling.
So you are feeling a little disoriented?
We can't understand, please.
Clearly.
Well, I'm really hot and a little lightheaded.
Would you mind if I asked you to cough? Here's a story from Jacksonville, Florida about a young woman selling hot dogs. Actually, she's selling lots of hot dogs. Why? Well, probably because this is what she's wearing.
This is American enterprise at its best.
Laura Garlett sells twice as many hot dogs than her more conservatively dressed competition, and hers costs 50 cents more, a surcharge paid mostly by men.
Hey, I get a woman once a day.
Anyway, so this is the place where New York City's hot dog vendors load up their weenies for the day, so we thought that we would offer them some advice. If he was wearing this, would you buy more hot dogs?
Yeah, maybe.
Would you be willing to put this on, sir?
Now?
Now, yes.
Okay, why not?
Okay. I'm thinking if you wear this, it'll increase sale.
You don't think so? It's too short for me, this one? It's, I mean, it's...
Too small for him. Yeah. It's too small for him. Finally, you probably heard about the violence and controversy surrounding this film, but out in San Francisco, another film, probably one that you wouldn't expect, was causing quite a commotion. All this in front of a movie theater showing Disney's Fantasia. Among the complaints, dancing hippopotami mock those with weight disorders, dancing mushrooms promote drug use, and something about the unfair treatment of rabbits.
I think you should be down there in front of the Terminator and these really violent, dangerous films that are making really sick people in this society. Now, widen your focus. Accept good criticism. Think about it, ladies.
Wow, I think he means it. Anyway, that's the news that you might have missed.
Okay, that's about it for this edition of the Week in Rock. We'll be back with the Day in Rock Monday through Thursday at a new time, 8 p.m. 7 Central, and we hope to see you then.
If you're just tuning in, there is an encore presentation of the Week in Rock scheduled for later today at 6:30, 5:30 Central, right after Racism Points of View. Now stay tuned for the Billy Idol rockumentary right here on MTV.